3 or 0704 793 3439.
Frontline Starlight Academy, nurturing a total child for excellence.
No matter what I do, you love me unconditionally. Show up for me every day, no matter when I show.
Okay, so there is an in-house competition to further, sharpen them and then get to pick the best from the students before you now go out for the outside competitions.
Yes.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about Broadmine Starlight School. Personally, for me, the first time I got to hear about Broadmine Starlight School was when we had the whole of this deal. So tell me, how long has Broadmine Starlight School been in existence, and what are the kinds of facilities that you have in the school?
Okay, Broadmine Starlight School was founded in 2014. So counting down from 2014 to 2023, we have 8 years. So it has been in existence for 8 years. And it is located in a serene environment of number 3, Eto Crescent off School Road by Udoite Street. We have the computer lab. We have our home economics labs. We have the library where the pupils and the kids get to study on their own too. We also have a music lab too.
You also have a music lab.
Yes.
So, the music lab, is it part of the school curriculum or is an extracurricular activity?
It's part of the school curriculum because we offer and we teach music as a subject in the school.
Okay. That's an exciting one. So at what level do you begin to teach children this music, and does it come with musical instruments?
Yes, it comes with musical instruments. Kate from pre-nursery gets to start learning the music. So before they get to the grade 5, the music is part of them to be able to know what to do.
Okay, so I know that one of the things that we've also heard being mentioned in your advertorials with us has been the fact that there is some kind of a caveat ongoing. I'd like for you to talk briefly on that before we go back to the floor of the Parliament.
Okay. There is a scholarship program for the parents with 3 or more kids. So parents with those kids can expect benefits from the school too.
Okay, the scholarship, is it being funded by the school, or there is an external NGO, running this scholarship program with the school for parents with more than 2 kids?
It's being funded by the school.
Okay, thank you very much, Deborah. We'll come back to you, but it's about time we head back to conversations on our Facebook page. We have a couple of comments there. Parliamentarian Henry West says, good morning, Mr. Speaker. I'm happy that ECOWAS has come to senses and beginning to reason with the junta. Most African countries want to be in control of their God-given resources. It's a pity that most African countries are so rich in mineral resources, yet ravaged by poverty and hunger. Let the people of Niger decide who rule them. ECOWAS can only come in when invited. Thank you. That's from Parliamentarian Henry Uwa. Okay, Parliamentarian Henry Uwa, thanks for joining us this morning. Of course, Parliamentarian Samuel Iwuk says, good morning, Mr. Speaker. I totally agree with our Governor, Pastor Umoino. All we need are words that can build, words of unity, and we match those words with actions. That's coming from Parliamentarian Samuel Iwuk. All right, let's head back to the phone lines for more. Good morning, Parliamentarian. Welcome to the plenary. Hello, good morning. I'm afraid I have to let you go there, Parliamentarian. I can't hear what you're saying to us this morning. Of course, the numbers are still the same, 090222 223-101-1001-081-764-8565. Please, when you do call, ensure that you're speaking up so we can get to hear you. And, of course, don't send a drop call unless, of course, it's being caused by the network. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the plenary. Hello, good morning. Okay, seems the network is a bit unfriendly. I do hope it clears, but let's head back to our Facebook page where we still have a couple more comments. Parliamentarian Anietia, Prince Anietia Ntia says, good morning, the People's Parliament. Happy New Week. Thanks for doing a great job. ECOWAS should also advise other countries in providing better governance to their citizens, provide a better standard of living, and provide social amenities to their citizens. Very well said, Parliamentarian Anietia. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the plenary.
Hello.
Good morning, Parliamentarian.
Yeah, can you hear me, Mr. Speaker?
Loud and clear.
All right, Mr. Speaker, good morning to you and Happy New Week. This is Comrade Major I'm calling from Chicago.
Welcome.
All right, Mr. Speaker, quickly let me react on the issue of this ECOWAS. I think we in Nigeria, we should not cry more than the bereaved, because like now, all the gun point, let me choose that word, is staring at Nigeria as if Nigeria is standing at the front. Because what I'm trying to say is just because our president is the chairman of ECOWAS. So I think that when a decision is being taken, the Nigerians, they should understand that this thing is a unanimous decision. It's not the president of Nigeria that makes that decision. Because although I know he's the chairman of ECOWAS, that's why I'm saying that we should not cry more than the bereaved. Because even these Nigerians, they're not even much complaining. They are okay with this, even a military, because the democratic way, they were taking them as if maybe they are not, they are slaves. So I think let's just be mindful and take this issue with a decorum so that it will not escalate to what we cannot control. That is what I can advise my president. Then finally, Mr. Speaker, please, I would like to say something about this issue of one of the ministers that was appointed. He's still a saving copper. I'm sure you are aware of that issue. I would like to react on that. Number one, I blame the Senate, because that shows a very clear indication that we are having a kind of rubber stamp Senate. How can you say someone to take about and go? They didn't take his qualification or the certificate before giving her that appointment. Now that she came out to say that that she has checked the constitution of Nigeria, that there is no law that is against someone being a saving corps member and still having a ministerial appointment. Number one, I blame the Senate, as I said. Secondly, the NYC also. Someone is above 30. How do you be able to go for service? That's a very clear lie. You show that the discharge certificate is prerequisite for appointment to public office in the country. So that's what I can tell the lady. And secondly, how will she do with TDS and PPS? So in this Nigeria, one day someone will just wake up and become a president saying that the certificate of the discharge certificate or NYC this thing is not important. So I think that we should do the right thing at the right time. You will come with Major Brown calling from Seligo. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thanks for joining us, parliamentarian. Different concerns rising from the culture minister, who is still a serving core member. Of course, we know that as at last week we had a lot of conversations around it, but I'm going to leave that for parliamentarians to just talk about it a little bit after this call. Good morning, parliamentarian. Welcome to the plenary.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker.
Welcome.
Good morning, other parliamentarians. It's my pleasure joining you from my local government area of Ifianibum. I'm Comrade in the Metropolitan Striker.
Welcome.
Mr. Speaker, taking a look at the motions on the order paper this morning, I think Nigerians are happy that the option of going to war with the Niger Republic is no longer tenable, since there seems to be a compromise now. I think this compromise is better than war, because we know the consequences and effects of war. So I think that ECOWAS have reached a compromise with the Niger military junta is a welcome development. Also, Mr. Speaker, talking about the governor asking opinion leaders, suggesting that we should not hit up the policy. I think it is a welcome development, because we need peace in Akwa Ibom State. It is peace that will bring development. So hitting up the policy will not bring peace. Instead, it will bring anarchy. So I think I support that notion from the governor, and the governor, should lead by example. I'm Comrade in the Metropolitan Striker. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining us, parliamentarian striker. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the plenary.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker. I remain Elder Jenekeruke. Quickly, I want to react on the issue of the saving corps member who is serving as the current minister. Mr. Speaker, if that does not happen in Nigeria, how will we have a Guinness record that comes from Nigeria? The girl or the Nigerian who is a saving corps now serving as a minister has two options. He can decide to withdraw from the saving camp and receive a certificate of exception. That does not stop him. It is telling Nigerians that credibility can be fished out no matter where you are seen to find the people who know you are credible, telling the others about your credibility. And when you are being put to trial, you will prove to the whole world that indeed you are credible. That is my take on that issue, Mr. Speaker.
All right.
I was calling the other time to tell Nigerians that we do not need war. In every country, the people wearing the shoe of their country know what is the pain. In this our country, the only thing we would have seen would have been uprise of insecurity. Nigeria has gone to the level that we are not secure, even though we claim to have security. When the executive arm of government are so adamant to the other arms of government, like the parliamentary and the court ruling, we have so many people being put into prison by issues of authority because of what the federal government do not want to honor the ruling of the judiciary, like Nnamdi Kanu, other people which the court has given them their bail. They should have been released unconditionally. Looking at the security net movement of these people, they claim to be terrorists. Mr. Speaker, this country, if we still behave like this, we don't have future. I have just heard you talk about the Navy destroying the illegal refinery. It is very wrong in this present country now. No creativity at whatsoever cost should be destroyed. Instead, the federal government should see how to hold all the people involved in any illegal business to see how to turn that illegality into wealth in this country.
All right, thank you very much, parliamentarian, for your contributions this morning. Well, two conversations you've raised. First, the military junta in Niger. We do not want an all-out war. And, of course, the issue of the minister that is still a serving core member has generated a lot of reactions. We know that as far as the Minister of Arts and Culture, Hannatu Musawa, is concerned, she's currently a serving core member. The NYSC has come out to accuse her of violating the NYSC Act. And, of course, Nigerians have asked certain questions when core members are sent out, they're sent to serve in government ministries, even at the state level and even to private entities. So how has, Hannatu been able to breach the, violate the NYC Act? To what context, in what context has she breached, the Act? Of course, you also talk about the age disparity. We know that as far as Nigeria is concerned, once you're 30, you're not allowed to go for NYC. Even if you had deferred, or even the excuse that you had saved, stopped halfway, and then want to start again when you're already above 30 and way over 30. So there are a lot of, questions and concerns raised on the part of Nigerians. But two things are involved. Either ways, Hannatu is already a minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. How this is going to spiral out and gets to a logical conclusion is the development Nigerians will still have to watch and see. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the plenary.
Good morning, Planet.
Welcome.
Fidelis is my name. Calling from Iparakwa. Yes, there is no controversy. This lady graduated in 2021 and she was mobilized to Akwa Ibom for her youth studies. But circumstances beyond her control will not allow her to go on the service. And therefore, it is not that she is above 30 years or thereabouts. By the time she graduated, she was under 30 years. And now that she wants to serve, it is counted from the day she graduated, not at her own age now. That should be clear, and we should get clearer. Now, on the issue of being appointed minister while not having not served youth corps, we agree. The Constitution did not make provision that it is a must. But my observation is that in the parastatals, even in the military, if you are asked to apply for appointment as a graduate, it will be stated there. You have completed the mandatory thing.
Hello, parliamentarian.
Hello?
Yes, okay, go ahead. You're back. Sorry, you were cut off by network there.
Okay, what I'm saying is, in the ministries and even in the military, they said you must have completed the mandatory youth service. So where did they derive that power from? Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Lots of questions being asked by Nigerians. This one is just another case that we have to sit back and watch it unfold to where the government and the powers within the legislature, the judiciary are going to interpret the law for. But at this point, we'll take another short pause. We'll be going out for a second recess where we'll be bringing you BBC The World in 2 minutes, a few more commercials, and then we'll return to the floor of the People's Parliament to wrap up our conversation this morning. Just stay with us.
Wake up into the new planet from 5 a.m.
Your name be praised.
And then a hero comes along with the strength to carry on.
Be inspired.
and enjoy your late morning, 11 a.m. to 12 noon on Planet 101.1 FM. Work and never get bored with music while you work.
Never mind, I'll find someone like you. I wish nothing but the best.
Get treated to serene, tranquil, calm and friendly vibes on the frequency of the leaders of the Aqua Cross airwaves. Planet 101.1 FM.
I died every day waiting for you. Darling, don't be afraid. I love
When music is this
(896-835) 0703-803-6732 or 0704-454-6366. Spectrum TV, broadening your horizon.
And I'm just a country boy. Money have I none, but I've got silver in the stars.
Share that bond of love with family, friends, and colleagues on the Planet 101.1 FM Country Music Half Hour.
Mondays through Fridays, 12:30 to 1 p.m.
Intermittently on Saturdays between 8:30 and 10:30 a.m.
And Sundays between 4:30 and 6 p.m.
treat me right when we first meet. Man, I was gonna stay home 'cause he wanted to.
Lighten your mood.
Stave off that fatigue.
Country music at its best.
It's awesome.
And it revolves around you.
The hell that he put me through. All I know is in the end it wasn't what he did. No, it was what he didn't do.
Last night we let the liquor talk. I can't remember everything we said, but we said it all. You told me that you wish I was.
The Chinese property developer Evergrande have plunged in value by about 80% in Hong Kong. The company is hundreds of billions of dollars in debt. Evergrande has admitted that it could go bust, which would have major repercussions for the Chinese economy. The U.S. Commerce Secretary is in Beijing for talks with Chinese government officials. Gina Raimondo said it was profoundly important to maintain a stable relationship. The billionaire founder of the electronics giant Foxconn has announced that he'll run for the presidency of Taiwan. Terry Guo accused the island's current leader of being on the path to war with China. The Foreign Minister of Libya has been suspended because she held a meeting with her Israeli counterpart, despite the two countries not having formal relations. Israel, which has normalized ties with a growing number of Arab governments, described the discussions in Rome as historic, but Libya insists it was a chance encounter. The Syrian Defense Ministry says an Israeli air attack has damaged Aleppo airport, forcing it to close. Israel has not commented, but often targets sites that it believes are linked to Iran-backed militants. The British Ministry of Defence says Russia appears to have cancelled a major military exercise known as Zapad 23. The UK said Moscow probably had too few troops and equipment available. The authorities in the Indian state of Haryana have stepped up security after Hindu groups said they'd resume a procession that was disrupted by violence last month. State officials had refused to authorise the rally after 6 people were killed. The union representing firefighters in Britain has said it could take legal action to prevent the government housing asylum seekers on a barge. The union says it's concerned about fire exits and possible overcrowding on the vessel. BBC News.
The world in 2 minutes.
No matter what I do, you love me unconditionally. You show up for me every day, no matter when I show you.
A mother's love is unconditional. Nothing serves this love better than a bowl of Indomie. So, show some love with Indomie.
Parliament live on Planet 101.1 FM, and of course, we revolve around you. This morning, our conversation has been guided by 3 motions. First, you're talking about Governor Pastor Omoina, who has again appealed to opinion leaders and stakeholders to desist from making inflammatory statements, of course, coming in the interest of the state. We know that a lot of trouble is brewing up across some parts of Akwa Ibom, attributed to the remapping of the state. We're having a look at internal crisis, boundary disputes and fights between respective communities. And of course, the governor had said last week that henceforth, stakeholders who made an issues press statement and media rounds as seen as capable of inciting people within the state will be considered as enemy of the state. Of course, as warned people to desist from it. Well, it's being reiterated, but of course, different concerns and different conversations around these. Many people are calling for a pause in the remapping process, and of course, for the state governor to ensure that the communities that hitherto belong to a certain local government area are not, being cut and given to another. If indeed we want to prevent this kind of crisis from brewing out and continuing on the state. We also talk about ECOWAS, who are demanding shorter transition period from the Niger junta, and of course Niger Navy says the abandoned oil theft vessel are making Nigerian waterways unsafe. And of course, these different concerns are on the floor of the People's Parliament this morning. As a parliamentarian, you can join the conversation and be part of it, discuss. Of course, we also had the privilege of hosting the sponsors of the People's Parliament this morning, here being represented by Ms. Dorothy, who has been giving us tidbits about our sponsors. Well, just take a few more comments on our Facebook page, and of course we'll be doing this side by side with your contributions via the phone lines 0902-223-101-10817 624-8565. Of course, still open for conversation this morning. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the plenary. Okay, I'll still like to advise parliamentarians, let the calls not come in as beeps, as we can have those conversations. I know the network can be distorting sometimes, but please ensure that it's not you that is doing it, but the network rather. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the plenary.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker. Yeah, my last is a compliment. It's compliment of coming from Sulu. Mr. Speaker, I think on the issue of there is no law that is makes you can go and check a NYD reservation. There is no part-time copper that can be a copper and not sustain full-time employment. Okay, for example, now remember the issue of the this thing, I beg referring to Kemi Adesina, Kemi Adeosun, a one-time Minister of Finance in Nigeria. Remember the controversy concerning NYC discharge certificate. So I think that we should do the right thing at the right time. This one of the things I would like to remind our governor, please, even let me just say, the governor. The speaker has been making all these complaints, even the last administration, concerning the roads in Nigeria government. They call it ECOWAS. To pass from Asarabia to Asarabia. After Asarabia, ECOWAS, and reaching ECOWAS. It's not a boundary with the tenant that is calling down. The people today are going through a lot because of the erosion issue. Please, with the speaker, many people have died. They are using water to cross to the other side. They are using water. Many children will fall inside that river, and there is nobody that is saying anything concerning that. With the speaker, we need help. We need help. Just do the bridge and leave the road alone. At least we are going to manage. We need help. My people are dying. Silently, nobody is saying anything. You see that you can come for oversight function. I've been talking about this, even with Shadaban, who was the Commissioner for Environment. Even the other time in the program of politics today, I've been complaining. My people are dying because the message that I've just had this morning is not palatable at all. My people are dying every day.
All right, Parliamentarian, we'll look into this. And I know this has been a consistent call. What surely we'll be doing something about it pretty soon. But thanks for joining us this morning. On our Facebook page, we have Parliamentarian David Udo, who says, "Let ECOWAS leave the people of Niger Republic to rule their country the way they want it. The citizens of Niger are happy with the military government, as evident in the pro-coup rallies they stage everywhere in their country. It is not the type of government that matters. It is the happiness of the citizens. Democracy or military government. Let ECOWAS stop dancing to the tunes of Western countries, that is France, who only have the selfish interest of exploiting Niger's uranium." That's from Parliamentarian David Udo. Parliamentarian Udeme Megaibu says, "Mr. Speaker, on the governor warning opinion leaders against making inflammatory statement, I wish charity will start at home, because inflammatory and divisive statement were attributes of those working closely with the immediate past government, and some of them are also working with the governors. So while warning others, please, His Excellency, start from home by sanctioning any of your aides that may be found culpable of making inciting or inflammatory statement to serve as deterrent to others. Thank you." That's coming from Parliamentarian Udeme Mega Ebu. Parliamentarian Hobo Moore Jr. says, "Good morning, Mr. Speaker. Tinubu should concentrate on the innumerable problems in his country and stop taking tablets for another country." Parliamentarian Ekemini Thompson says, "Good morning, Parliamentarians, Speaker. My name is Ekemini Thompson from Etinan. I congratulate Pastor Umano for his works. God bless you, Ekemini Maxwell Thompson from Etinan." Okay, thanks for joining us, Parliamentarian Ekemini Maxwell, this morning. Still on the comment section before we come back to the phone lines, and of course wrapping up our conversation this morning, we have Parliamentarian Adrian Johnson Marin says, "Good morning, Mr. Speaker. The governor should focus on the state project like breaking okay, I guess he wanted to say like bringing company into the state and so on, and leave people alone." Well, if the governor is focused on bringing companies into the state and leaving people alone, and of course leaving people alone results in insecurity, of course you know that the companies are not going to come into the state. So all things work out for good in the interest of our collective growth and development. Parliamentarian Pastor Fred says, "Good morning, Spring. All these occurrences do it have abortifacient and should by reasons of the future raise acoustics of our governing bodies. Thanks." Okay, Pastor, I'd like for you to come down to the normal terminologies so that all of us can get to understand, because this seems more like spiritual statement and confirmation, or should we say confession, and that, of course, is not going to go well with parliamentarians this morning. But thanks for joining us. We do hope in your subsequent contributions you come really straight, to the language of men, and of course demystify your comments on the floor of the People's Parliament. Communication is communication only when what you're saying is, being understood and being well related to by other people you are communicating to. Thank you very much for joining us regardless. So let's come back to you, Teacher Dorothy. Deborah. Teacher Deborah. All right. So before we let you go on the floor of the People's Parliament, let's get to know people. You talked about the scholarship being offered by the school and all of this. So how can people get to locate the school, make inquiries for themselves?
Okay, there is a phone number here which I'd like to give out. 090-351-93083 or 081-071-95963. I'd like to take that again. 0903-519-3083 or 0810-7195-963. Then the school is located at number 3, Etogefion Crescent, off School Road, opposite Udoite Street in Uyo.
Okay, of course. Thank you so much, Teacher. I hope I can call you Teacher Deborah for coming to the floor of the People's Parliament. We truly appreciate you being our sponsors for the month of August, and of course, we wish you the very best in your business endeavor.
Thank you.
All right, coming back to the floor of the People's Parliament, of course, we're going to take some more comment. Don't forget, we have a few more minutes left for you to join the conversation. The number is 0902-223-1011 or 0817-624-8565. Still on our Facebook page, we have parliamentarian Akantax Chris Senior, who says, "Good morning, Mr. Speaker. The federal government should shun military intervention in Niger and accept dialogue, irrespective of the period of time given by the Niger junta. If the federal government is capable of war, let them fight the insecurities that is rampaging the country as we speak. Let them not subject Nigerians into more problems by declaring war with Niger military. Thanks, Mr. Speaker." A contact from Ikot Ataudo or Abak local government area. Okay, very valid advice they're given to the federal government of Nigeria. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the plenary. Hello, good morning, parliamentarian. I'm afraid I have to let you go. Good morning. Welcome to the plenary.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, welcome.
Thank you. Well, my name is Achiba. I'm calling from you. I want to give my contribution on one point to raise today concerning the minister who's actually serving. Well, for me, no big deal about it. All I'm just saying is that the coppers, they have a colleague working under the ministry, her ministry, and they have reasons to smile, really, because they can walk into the house and then dine and wine with her as a colleague of theirs, and they'll surely have reasons to smile because as a colleague, you can, make do, play about, joke about, and end the income higher than what they're paying them, so they have reasons to smile. I have that just to contribute this morning. Thank you for having me.
All right, thank you very much, parliamentarians. I'll take that on a lighter note. We know there's been conversations about the core members now having a colleague that is a minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. But this is one developing story, developing conversations that we're yet to see the very end of it at this point. Of course, we'll still watch and see how this would unravel. Of course, today, a lot of concerns has been on the performance of the Minister of Culture and how she's going to be able to perform and what her performance would mean for the Nigerian year. Talking about the Minister of Arts and Culture and, of course, Hannatu Musawa, who is currently on the heat for being a serving core member and also of course, Minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and the issues going back and forth. We know that as of this morning, senior lawyers in Nigeria have said the Minister of Art and Culture cannot be prosecuted for serving in the cabinet of the president while still the core members. Of course, the Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria had last week accused the minister of being a core member and called on the National Youth Service Corps to compel her to focus on either a National Youth Service or the ministerial appointment. But there have been conversations to the fact that whether or not she's a Minister of Federal Republic of Nigeria or she's an NYRC member, both amounts to one and the same thing. She is serving her fatherland, whether as a core member doing her primary assignment or as a minister who is serving within the Ministry of Arts and Culture. And of course, there's also been conversation that perhaps why we're having a lot of uproar is because she's a young person, and people within the higher cadre are feeling like she's too young to be saddled with such an enormous responsibility, which of course has made some of the youths begin to take a likeness to Hanatu and what she represents, which is showing that, you know, the federal government, the leadership of Ahmed Bola Tinubu is really looking to, you know, bring in young minds and young brains into the ranks and files of government. But we'll take another comment still on our Facebook page. Parliamentarian Master Kaniyen Umana says, good morning, Mr. Speaker, and Parliamentarian Kaniyen Umana from Mpatari Koruba. What are the main duties of Nigerian Navy? I don't think they have done well. Make them do a nice job. Okay. Thank you very much for joining us. Well, going back to the Nigerian Navy, it's been back and forth between the leadership of the Nigerian Navy and, of course, people who have been fingered to be involved in oil theft. And several times the Nigerian Navy have been, you know, destroying vessels laden with alleged stolen crude oil. And this time around, we see that the Nigerian Navy is at it again. As last week we saw over 3,500 illegally refined, according to the Nigerian Navy, crude oil being, you know, destroyed. And of course, the Navy came out to vow that they were going to arrest the owners of the facility where this oil were found. We've seen questions and comments and, of course, press release from the owners of the vessel coming out to tell Nigerians that, you know, due process were not seen and that the Nigerian Navy had before now, 2 months ago, checked the facility, you know, and given its clearance, and that the bumping of the facility actually happened without the knowledge of the owners. So there are different questions being asked. If the Nigerian Navy are truly sure that the owners of the facility, you know, were against the laws of the land, why were they not, you know, arrested? Why were they not compelled to appear? And of course, we are told that in situations like this, there's need for testing of the liquid to actually ascertain what exactly the liquid is, and that Nigerian Navy had come out to say that wasn't done in the presence of the owners of the system. And the excuse they're giving Nigerians is that these individuals did not come when they were invited. And it raises the question, what happened to the instrumentality of having the law or obtaining a court order to actually mandate the owners of the facility to come be present for the professional testing of these liquids to be done to actually ascertain? And also, why are we having the Nigerian Navy being engaged in a brawl of words between the Navy and the owners of the facility without seeing arrest? It raises a question as to which of the sides of the story Nigerians are actually going to take. But we'll take a pause here for a short commercials. When we come back, we'll be wrapping up our conversations on the floor of the People's Parliament. Just stay with us.
A mother's love is unconditional. Nothing serves this love better than a bowl of Indomie. So, show some love with Indomie.
Still calling on the leadership of ECOWAS, of course, the regional bloc, to avoid by all means going into war with the military junta in Niger, of course, owing to the fact that we cannot, shoulder the burdens of war, and considering the fact that Nigeria has a lot of border with Niger Republic, and regardless of the extension of time of 3 years that has been required by or requested for by the military junta for transition of power, and ECO was calling for a shorter transition period. Nigerians and of course a lot of persons are expecting that ECO was led by President Ahmed Bola Tinubu and the mediation of Abdul Salami Abubakar will be able to broker a deal that will be in the favor of all parties involved. And of course, we're also looking at Governor Pastor Umoino, who has appealed to opinion leaders and stakeholders to desist from making comments capable of heating up the polity in our Akwa Ibom state. The issue of oil theft, Nigeria not being able to meet its oil production quota has been a recurrent, developing story, with questions being asked. We know that even the National Assembly had told the Nigerian Armed Forces to desist and henceforth not burn vessels laden with crude oil, but we see that the Nigerian Navy, the Nigerian military, yet to adhere strictly to that new directive. They've always maintained that burning of vessels with crude oil, even when the country is not meeting the production quota by OPEC, even when revenue that should have accrued to us from crude oil is dwindling as a result of not being able to meet that quota, even when specialists and professionals have spoken against the harm being done to ecosystem, being done to aquatic life, being done to people within the riverine area, and of course the health hazard of burning these so-called stolen crude oil into the atmosphere again, especially at the point where the atmosphere is said to be boiling by relevant meteorological agencies, is completely, condemnable. But we do hope that the leadership of President Ahmed Bola Tinubu listens to Nigerians and professional counseling on all sides, and we get to, pay attention to the issues that needs to be addressed holistically in the interest of Nigeria. We also hope that people in Akwa Ibom State do their own part, while the governor also does his own part of ensuring that the issue of remapping of the state does not lead to more boundary crisis within the community, as opposed to actually bringing about the much desired growth and development. We'll take just one last call and we'll wrap up on the floor of the House this morning. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the plenary.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker.
Welcome.
Good morning, other parliamentarians. It's my pleasure joining you on my last shot. This is Comrade Inemasara Pastor. I support the suggestion that vessels that are caught stealing Nigerian crude oil should not be destroyed. I think it is proper that those vessels are kept for investigation, because it has been insinuated that there are many people that are highly placed in the society and in government sometimes are behind some of this bunkery business. So if the vessels are destroyed, I think evidence are being destroyed. So they should be kept for proper investigation in order to unravel those behind such stolen crude oil. So I think I support that opinion. I'm Comrade Inemasara Striker. Thank you for having me.
All right, thank you very much, Parliamentarian Striker, for joining us. On your note, we wrap up our conversation this morning. Once again, I'd like to thank parliamentarians for being part of today's conversation. I'd like to thank Ms. Dorothy for coming on to the floor of the House to tell us a little more about our sponsors, Broadmind Starlight School, who has been our sponsors for the month of August. And of course, just briefly before we go, I'd like for you to reel out the phone numbers for people to reach out to Broadmind Starlight School again.
Okay. Just a minute.
All right. Of course, I'm still appreciating parliamentarians who join us through the phone lines on our Facebook page. It leaves us comment, and it's always been here. The month of August is almost, going to be wrapped up, but we trust that we're always going to be here, especially as the first 100 days in office is going on a countdown clock. All right, back to you, Teacher Dorothy.
Okay, so the phone numbers are 090-351-93083 or 081-071-95963.
All right, thank you very much. That's the size of a package today. Remember to be a law-abiding citizen of Akwa Ibom State and Nigeria. Pray for our country, pray for our state, pray for our leaders, because only through having quality leadership will we be able to have a better society. Francis Oyemaidet is my name. wishing you rather a very beautiful new week and a blessed week ahead. God bless you. God bless Akwa Ibom State. God bless Nigeria. Bye bye.